The woman unexpectedly discovered that her fiancé had prepared a fake marriage certificate. He never intended to truly marry her. The reason he pretended to be in an arranged marriage with her was only to compete for the family heir position. Now, his first love had returned, but he had no intention of breaking up with the woman because his first love couldn't have children. He needed the woman to bear his child, and after she gave birth, he planned to abandon her, then marry his first love and spend the rest of his life with her. Lambert's plan seemed perfect, but Annie, hiding in the shadows, overheard everything. Annie was heartbroken and cried, feeling that her 5 years of love had been wasted, and she decided to replace her fiancé. The next day, Annie went to Lambert's grandfather to request a change of fiancé. Her grandfather gladly agreed. He only required that one of his grandsons be in an arranged marriage with Annie, and he didn't enforce who it should be, but whoever married Annie would become the family heir. Now that Annie changed the fiancé, Lambert would lose his position as heir. The grandfather took out a stack of photos for Annie to choose from. Annie no longer trusted her own judgment, because the Lambert she had carefully chosen last time had turned out poorly. So Annie flipped through the cards casually, and unexpectedly picked Anthony, who had secretly loved her all along. Anthony had once confessed his love to Annie, but at that time, Annie had already chosen Lambert. She decisively rejected Anthony and left the country. Unexpectedly, their fate had not ended. The right people would eventually be together. The grandfather immediately informed Anthony to return to the country. That night, Annie heard a knock at the door. When she opened it, she found a delivery package. But the delivery person was Anthony himself. He said it was a gift he personally brought for Annie. Annie opened the package and found that besides some health supplements, there was also a note. It read that Anthony would always remain loyal to Annie. Unfortunately, by now, Annie had already experienced Lambert's betrayal and no longer trusted a man's loyalty. The next day, Lambert took Annie to her grandfather's house for a family meal. Since Anthony had returned, Annie was about to get into the car, but she saw that the front passenger seat was already occupied by Lambert's first love, Daisy. Daisy looked at Annie provocatively and pretended to be weak so that Annie would sit in the back. Lambert also acted like he felt sorry for Daisy. Annie ignored them and sat in the back seat. At the family dinner, Daisy actually sat next to Lambert. Lambert was attentively taking care of Daisy. Annie found the scene extremely ironic. For 5 years, she had cared for Lambert with devotion, without receiving his genuine love in return. Annie placed the shrimp she peeled into Anthony's bowl. Anthony was flattered and overwhelmed. Lambert was very displeased. Before Annie could get angry, Anthony immediately confronted Lambert, firmly defending Annie. The conflict spread from Lambert to Daisy. Daisy immediately pretended to faint. Lambert anxiously carried Daisy to the hospital, completely ignoring his fiancée. The next day, Annie and Anthony went to try on wedding dresses. By chance, they ran into Lambert and Daisy again. Lambert angrily questioned Annie about why she was trying on dresses with his brother. At this point, Lambert still